Hi, my name is Mark Anthony Dubose Jr. I was born July 4th, 1986. I want to say thank you for tuning in. Now, front, I want to say something weird about sitting on a tall bench where you can just swing your legs. Makes you feel like a child again. Something very interesting. Just sitting here thinking for a moment and just makes you feel like I am not the 38 years old I am sometimes, especially with things that I do on my day-to-day that just, it's so cool to be alive. Something that I want to say right now. But what I'm going to talk about today, I had a topic that I was going to talk about, but in the middle of this run, I kind of started thinking of something else. And something else is, Mark, you always talk about how this obedience is just so bad and so negative and so wrong. What the heck is wrong with you? There's something that I want as many people to understand. When it comes down to said obedience training, say the formal stuff with working with your dogs, the sit, the down, the heel, the place, the recall, that's about it. The formal stuff of all that. There's something about it that I don't think many people understand. There's going to be the few that are going to try to manipulate you with what you're seeing in a short video. But as far as people being able to have a reliable dog, when you say sit, it sits. No matter what is around, no matter what's going on. When you say heel, it heals. No matter what is going on around you. I'm talking the proficient of the proficient. The dog that you say heel, it comes to you. And I don't care if there's a soccer ball, a tennis ball, a kid running up to you, a person, a dog, whatever going on in your environment, that your dog stays there and doesn't flinch. I'm going to say this, and there's going to be a few that are going to disagree, but this is the part that if you disagree with this, you're manipulating right now. And I would love to see you prove it, that you can do this with, I only give my dog treats, and my dog is able to do that. I don't want to say it like this, but it's impossible to get because it doesn't go with what you're doing. So there's going to be people that are going to manipulate this in the sense of they're walking with the heel and the dog, see, it's not flinching. I can walk in the mall, I can walk downtown, I can go to the farmer's market, but the dog is in what I want to say is a very uncomfortable stance of an attention heel. It's not able to even do anything other than focus. So if someone doesn't know what that is, the dog is right next to your side and the dog is just staring at the owner's face the entire time. It's not allowed to stare at anything else. It can only stare at the owner's face. And the thing behind this is it's going to work for, let me say, seconds, maybe a couple of minutes. You might get 3 or 4 minutes out of the dog doing that. But then once the dog looks, what happens? The dog gets stimulated again with the environment and it's like it starts to get wild. Whereas this is the part where pretty much like every balance trainer is going to say, I hear what you're saying, Mark, because you have to go to a level of correctiveness to get that animal to be able to be, I want to say, perfect's not the word, but know how to let go of all the environment and just be in it. It's proven that they're capable of being able to do such a thing. And it always has to come, I'm going to use an always there because I just never seen it. It always comes down to a matter of you have to start to use corrections. You have to start to use punishment to get that dog to be able to be what most people are perceiving. You're watching a 1-minute clip on YouTube or on TikTok or on Instagram or on Facebook. You're watching a 1-minute clip thinking, I'm going to train my dog to get to that point. So if you're worrying about training, this is the manipulation part that I'm going to say. That they're showing you that minute as if they're able to do that for like hours, and they're not. That's the thing that I want a lot of people to really understand when it comes down to this obedience stuff. That once you start, because this is where I start to have problems, where I see the problems that happen with the dog. Once you have to start to go towards that punishment, you better do it because I said so, and then the dog knows you better not fight back at what I'm telling you to do, or else there's this negative consequence that's coming to you. That's where you start to become the negative person to that dog. That's why the dog wants to start running away from you. That's why you need more and more pressure until you hit that level of pressure that, like an e-collar, for instance, that there's not many dogs that push past them because it's an unlimited source. They don't know, especially when you're playing the game with the dog of, oh, I've just used it on low numbers. Yeah, you use it on a low number, but you always tap it higher. And then that dog knows, I don't know how high this thing can go. Whereas like your prong collar or your slip leash, as much force as you physically have, that's it. As soon as you do it that one time and that dog pushes past that, you're like, oh, what do I do now? That's where the e-collar is an amazing manipulative tool to be able to say to the dog, you don't know my level of power. And if you max it out, what do? You put another box on, or you put another box on. I mean, I've seen dogs with triple boxes before on them, that you just can keep going more and more to say to that dog, buddy, I've got an unlimited amount of pressure that I can put upon you. Don't even think about trying to push back at it. In that sense, that's where the dog, Ophi, we're not going down there. Ophi, you can stay up here, girl. I don't know what's with you. My dog's in these cliffs, man. They look at a cliff, they're like, oh, that looks like fun. Let me just jump down in there. It scares me. I guess I should just let that go, because if they're not scared, then whatever, so be it. But the biggest thing is when you start to have to go that route of putting that pressure of saying you better or else, that's where, again, you are a negative. Now your dog needs to do something to get away from that negative, which is a get away from you. But all you do is put more and more and more on them. So now they have no choice, but they have to be forced to stay with you. They're not with you because they're saying, oh, I really like this person, I want to be around this person. No, they're doing appeasement things to say, please don't hurt me, please don't mess me up, please just let me be so that I could just be here. That's what starts to happen. So a lot of people, this is the part where I don't think that most people, you don't know your dogs. I don't think that most people understand their dogs. I don't think that anyone, not anyone, but most mass majority of everyone has no idea who your dog actually is and what your dog is actually doing. A lot of times your dog is coming up to you where you're like, oh, my dog wants affection. It's actually not in a positive sense. It's in a negative sense that the dog is only trying to do that so that you don't do something of a forceful type scenario to it so that it could just be able to relax and be able to hang out. So your dog is coming to you to say, hey, please lay off me. Please don't hurt me. Please don't do this to me anymore. And you're like, oh, my dog really likes it. He really likes me. There's a lot of this that goes on that a lot of y'all just think and looking at it and just have no idea of what's actually happening, why the dog is doing that, so right now, I know exactly what this dog is doing. She's all on me like this because I told her not to go down that cliff. So now she's asking for that, she wants me to say yes to that. So she's coming to me trying to be all sweet. So if I start petting this, let me just watch. I start petting this girl right now and I'm gonna say, oh, I like you, girl, we're good. As soon as she gets down, she's gonna go right back to that cliff and I bet you she's gonna take 2 paws off. She's coming to me in a way of pleading with me, saying, please let me do this. This is the part right here that in reality, when I see this, I know I don't really want to entertain you. I want to just ignore that. I'm not going to allow you to, this is the part where the dog is pushing me around. I'm not going to allow my dog to push me around to say, get its way, when I've already put that boundary in place to say, I don't want that. This is the part that it's much different than worrying about an obedience cue. Where I'm not in a hostile sense with her of saying you this or else. I'm saying we're not doing this. Simple, we're done. And now she's coming to beg, say please, please, please. And I'm saying no, no, no. And I'm gonna continue to keep on saying no to it. I'm not gonna do this, I'm not gonna do that. So here she's just going deeper and deeper and deeper with it that for me personally, I like to just ignore it. Eventually they get down and they move away and we're good to go. But I'm not adding something of a punishment to her to say, I don't want that. I'm simply saying to her, I'm not going to let you get away with this. I'm not going to let you just push me around like this. That's the part where the obedience starts to make you be that negative that the dog really doesn't want to listen to, doesn't want to be around. That the dog will do this to say, stop abusing me, stop hurting me, stop forcing me to be with you. Allow me to just be able to go. Because a lot of times I see this so often that the dog comes up to person, you pet the dog and the dog just runs completely away. Completely away. I'm talking complete, just gone. It wants nothing to do with you. It just disappears from you because the dog was coming to you asking you for something and you told it that, yes, go ahead and do that. And then when you do that, and then, so for instance, right here, this is where things can get hostile. Because if I just told her no, I said, I don't want you going down there. She came to me asking, please, 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 begging me, doing all this madness. And if she goes over there and then I have the e-collar on her right now and she puts 2 paws down and I give her tap, tap. Now she's going to look at me and say, well, now for one, she's not really going to want to come to me to ask anymore. She's just going to say, well, forget that guy. I don't want to do that no more. And then 2, she's going to have this negative sense of me of I need to stay away from that person for anything to ask of them because all they're going to do is just punish me for everything that I do. That's what happens with, unfortunately, when it comes down to the obedience part of it. You're saying no to the dog and the dog now is looking at you in the sense of, I don't want nothing to do with you. Because you're just being like, lay off me. You always, I'm going to say always with this, and always, I'll say 99.9%. You have to start to apply punishment to the dog to get the obedience to be what most people are seeing, these fancy routines and this fancy stuff going on these little shows and all these little clips that you're looking at. It's not just give the dog a treat and the dog is going to be able to do that. It just doesn't work. It doesn't work. And that's where you start to have the problems. And then the treats in reality still make it to have problems because that's where the dog will start to get pushy for that treat. It'll say, please, you better give me it. And then it'll start to, I know there's so many people in y'all households. You're on some trying to do a like 10-minute working session with your dog in the day. And all of a sudden, like every 10 minutes when you stop, the dog wants to keep doing it. It's pushing you, pushing you, pushing you, pushing you, pushing you, pushing you, because it knows I'm going to get more. I'm going to get more treats. I'm going to get more treats. I'm going to get more treats. And you're like, oh, my dog really likes to do this obedience. No, the dog is using you to get what it wants. But the second that you start to get away from, say, using the treats to do that and going into the leash to use leash pressure to get it, watch how your dog's not going to want to do the obedience at all anymore. The dog's going to be like, I don't want to do this. You're in like a lose-lose situation when you're trying to do and use something to get to a point that is just, it's not realistic. It's not realistic at all. That's why you start to get pushback, because the dog doesn't want to be around you. It doesn't want to do nothing with you. The dog starts to look at you as if you're just this evil, negative dictator to it, as opposed to being the one that it can come to. This is the thing that, I mean, this is just common, unfortunately. This is the part where I wish that more people would do more research on where dog training and this positive and negative rewards and punishment came from. Because it didn't come from us working dogs to learn about dogs. It came from us as humans. This is why it's integrated all with us. Your work is a reward and punishment. Your school is reward and punishment. Your everything is. And I wish that people just understand that a little bit more, because this is something that we, like, especially folks my age and older, like, this is almost a guarantee in your life. You didn't go to your parents to ask them for help. Most cases, unfortunately, most people, most situations, especially if you got in trouble with something, you don't go to your parents. You hide that. You lie about that. You know to lie about that. You know to hide about that because of what your parent is going to say or do to you for you coming to them saying that you did such and such. You dented the car. It's like, you want to lie. You're going to lie all up and down about it. You don't want to just speak the truth and go to them in confidence, knowing that they're going to help you with it. It's usually like a negative sense. Not everybody, but everyone that I know, that's what your life is like with your parents. You don't go to them in confidence knowing that they're going to be able to help me out. You go to them nervous. You go to them worried. You go to them anxious. You go to them scared. What's going to happen? What's going to happen? Because usually what happens is you get punished for something that, even if you say did a good thing, somehow you end up still getting punished. You're in the wrong place. You're with the wrong people. It's like everything is always just wrong, unfortunately. I know this isn't just my life, because I just known a lot of people and talking to kids when I was young and talking to folks when I was everywhere I go. We all have similar stories like this. This is the same concept that's going on with your dog, that your dog doesn't want to come to you when it does something because it's nervous. What are you going to do? What's going to happen? When this is the biggest thing that I've noticed with my dogs, that I love this new transformation that I've seen in them. When they're into something that they're just wrong, they're wrong. They come running to me and they're like, can you help me? Can you help me? You know, I accidentally was in this, I accidentally did this, I accidentally was over here, I accidentally was this. And they come to me and say, hey buddy, I'm sorry, I was wrong. This is a big thing, especially when it comes down to chasing. My dogs know that we're not chasing the pursuit and nothing out here. But sometimes they get in their brain and they're like, I kind of want to. And when they go, they look back at me with this like level of, they can come back to me. Like, I forgive you, basically. Come to me. It's okay. Like, it's okay. Nothing's wrong. You're not in trouble. You didn't do anything wrong. There's nothing bad here. It's okay. And the dogs, they just thrive off of that. But what happens in the opposite sense of that is what I see with a lot of the obedience stuff in specific is when you're pressuring the dog, you're punishing the dog, you're correcting the dog for doing what it's doing, it doesn't want to come to you for that sense of comfort. It's looking at you in a sense of like, just get away from me and get off of me. And it wants to be nowhere near you because it starts to get scared of you, as opposed to being confident with being with you. You want your dogs to be confident to be with you. That's where a lot of people are putting so much pressure on the dog that doesn't need to be there. I'm telling you, again, I still don't work no obedience cues, commands, nothing with these dogs, and I can still dance around this world. I am going to not say guarantee, but guarantee better than most every single person that has their dogs in all this obedience on point. I would even put it to the people that have the so-called elite level obedience training on the dogs. I am going to guarantee you that both of these, I can run both together even, and I can go home and get 2 more dogs as well, that I can run 4 dogs better than this professional grade A obedience trained dog is capable of being able to do. I will have a more effortless experience walking, doing, being, everything that I got going on than the person that has the best of the best of the best obedience out there. I could just pretty much guarantee that. And I haven't done a lick of formal training of any sort to say to these dogs, you better or else nothing. Just you better, just, oh, it's all fun. Just maintain this heel. And that's something that I want a lot of people to really understand. That's why me, in reality, I'm talking against something, and I use it in the extremes, and I say it in the extreme ways of putting it, just to make it clear and easy with what it is that I'm talking about. I don't work obedience on dogs. I believe that is something that is destroying your relationship with your dogs, personally. And that's why, for me, I'm doing something to say, this dog is smart on smart. She walked around. Instead of going down the cliff, she goes around to go to the place where she doesn't have to jump off the cliff. That concept I was saying the other day of, can we teach these dogs, I get all muddy. Can we teach these dogs to troubleshoot things if they don't automatically just do it? And I believe that is a yes answer, that if I'm working with the dog, giving it more opportunity of saying, you figure it out. I'm not really going to push you to say what you should do, but you make a plan and you decide where you want to go. That the dogs are capable of being able to learn and learn on their own. Something I can say with, like, what people say with AI is not learning on its own, in my opinion. Still, at some point it may, who knows, but I don't even think that'll be in my lifetime personally. But it's learning based on what I already know. But my dog is capable of being able to learn all on its own with what it knows. That's what's incredible about them. That's why, for me, again, I don't need to worry about making them obey me to be able to know what it is that I'm looking for. I allow them to be able to figure that process out all on their own, so then they know what it is that I'm looking for, and I know what it is that they're looking for, and then we're able to work together with each other. Because the biggest thing is, I see with a lot of people, this is why you start off with treats and stuff to get your dog to work, and then you start to need corrections and tools and stuff to get your dog to work. And then some people, and most people, unfortunately, get to the point that you just keep needing more and more and more. You don't get less and less, you need more and more and more. And then you just kind of just give up and just say, oh, this is just where my dog is. It just is what it is. That's the part that I have been doing my best to get away from and get out of, to see what else can I do here. Because as soon as you go to the treats and you're like, okay, I need more, at that moment when you're like, I need more, because you need more if you're relying on obedience, you need more. I'm telling you this, you need more. It's unfortunate, but it just is what it is, to get the dogs to really just, because when you think of that word obey, you're forcing the dog to obey. You're not asking the dog to obey, you're making the dog obey. So when you want to make something do something for you, you can't just, let me give you $100, buddy, and you're going to do it for me. It doesn't work that way. There needs to be this level of, the word I would like to use here is fear, but fear really isn't the way of doing it, but just that fear of a consequence has to be there for them to obey, when you're really putting a lot more pressure around the environment to tell them what to do. So, and when you start doing that, that's where the dog starts to get hostile with you. It looks at you like we're not teammates anymore. We're not friends anymore. We're not buddies anymore. I thought we were cool with each other, but now you're putting so much on me that I guess a simple way of saying it is, I don't really like you anymore. And that's the part that I've been able to see a complete shift in how my dogs view and look at me. I would say to them, they don't look at me in that sense of, I don't like you. They're in the sense of, buddy, I'm here for you. I will do whatever you want to do. They don't want to run away from me. They want to stay close to me. They're not being force-fed to do anything. They're just doing because that's what's in the best interest of what we're doing as a group together. And again, it comes down to, the word I want to use is that the word of boundaries over discipline and obedience and all of that. You said no to something and stay firm to that. And when you stay firm to that, and you stay firm and stay firm and stay firm, the dog will understand what your yes and your no means. So then you'll be able to say, I don't want that. And the dog's like, oh, okay, well, I won't do that. And then you'll be able to say, hey, go do something else. And the dog's like, okay, well, I'll go do something else. But if you give in on that boundary, like here, for instance, this simple thing of going on, I just don't want this girl jumping off a cliff. I don't care if she goes down there, but she's not jumping off this cliff. It's like a 7-8 foot cliff. No, that's more than that. That's like a 10-foot cliff right there. And I'm like, I don't care if you go down there, you're not going off that cliff. And I have to be firm to that. So when she came to me like asking, and I said, no, we're not doing that. And then she just laid here for a moment, and then she got to thinking like, well, maybe I could figure out something else to do because I want to go down there. So then she figures it out. But if she would have went to that cliff and she would have put a couple of paws down, I would have had to get up, go get her and say, no, we're not doing that, because I said no. And I have to stick and stay firm with that and not just allow her to just keep doing whatever she wants. This is the part with everything. If your dog is jumping on you, if your dog is sitting on your lap too much, your dog is looking you in your face too much, your dog is trying to steal your food, your dog, all those things, you're putting your boundary and saying, no, I'm not going to allow you to do that. And that's clear to dogs. I don't know why, but that's clear to humans as well. But that's clear. That doesn't make it to be in a sense of I don't like you and you don't like me. And it make the dog feel in the sense of they don't need to come to you in confidence when something's going on. That's what I just see in a lot of these dogs, that they are not confident to be around people, to be around you. Your own dog don't want to be around you. It's there because it doesn't have a choice. But if you gave it a choice, it doesn't want to be there. And that's what I want everyone to really look at your dog. Because this is the part when it really comes down to everyone says, oh, I just have this on, I just have this for a backup. No, you got it for a backup for yourself because you know something's wrong. Something's wrong. You know something's wrong. It's not anything to make you think that things are going to be safer or things are better. No, you know something is wrong, so you have to have that. You absolutely need to have this extra secure backup sense of knowing that something may happen. And most cases, every single person, you're using this stuff every single day. And then you're, unfortunately, I don't know why humans do this. It just is what it is. But you're lying not only to anybody, but you're lying to yourself on how much you're using it. You're lying to yourself that, oh, it doesn't really affect my dog. You're lying to yourself saying it actually makes my relationship better with my dog. You're lying to yourself because when you have to say that, something's wrong. I don't question if my dogs like me or not. I don't question that. I used to a lot. Oh, I used to sit at the house. It was mainly my Johnny and in this Kahi for sure. I used to sit at the house and I would just look at them and I'm just like, you cool with me? Are you all right? I used to question that so much. I don't question it anymore. I know my dogs exceptionally appreciate me because I don't have this what if with them. I don't have this security blanket with them. If I did, I would have that. Are you okay? Is everything all right? That's the part where it's like we're just lying about what actually is going on. And who cares if you're lying to someone else? When you're lying to yourself, that's what is, in my mind, more destructive than anything else, because you're only allowing things to keep getting worse and worse as opposed to wanting to get into a better place. And that's the biggest thing that, where are y'all going? We're just going to let this play out and we'll see what's going to happen. But I'm a little, how do I say this? I still have that, like, I want everything just so in my order that it's hard to let it go. This is the part that I do know. Stuff that I talk about is not easy to do. It's a simple concept, but actually doing it, it is a challenge, especially if you're a person that grew up in a household similar to mine, which in reality, most everyone does. All our households are very, 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 very similar. Very similar. That's why, again, the Bible is an interesting book because you can read about your family line in there. Like, all our families are very similar. Everyone, if anyone's out here like, oh, my parents were the best, they were the greatest, I'm going to say, like, you're lying to yourself straight up. There's some weird stuff that goes on in everyone's families, and that weird stuff pushes us into a further of like continuously to continue to keep on doing the weird stuff. And one part of that weird stuff is extreme control. Extreme control. I mean, nowadays, like, parents, y'all got your kids on lockdown. You got GPS on their phone. You got trackers on their body. You got access to everything that they got, to their emails, to their socials, to their everything. Like, you got everything on lockdown. That's exceptional amount of control. And then it's messed up. But then you would be like, oh, I don't want the government to have that on me. Well, if you don't want the government to do that to you, then why are you doing that to your children? Think about it. Think about it. But it's so hard to like let that go in reality. It's so hard to just know that they're fine. They're going to be okay based on what you've been showing them. And the more that you let them experience that on their own, the more and more that they're going to be able to know how to be able to function. And this is the thing. This is the most interesting thing with the dog is you're not just going to let the dog, like, for instance, right now, this isn't day one. I just let my dog and let this girl just go walk back there. I think, yeah, there's a fence here. Walk back there and go do what she's doing. No, she's on leash with me until she shows me, hey, I'm going to stay with you. I'm not just going to take off 5 miles. I'm going to be there with you. I'm not just going to allow my nose to just take me way out of here and go chase whatever I can find and look out for. Because right now, I don't know what she's looking for. She kind of looked like she's looking for food right now. Just one thing that I'm still working on with her, but we're getting better with that. But other times she'll be looking for like a mouse, not a mouse, but the other thing that looks like a rabbit. And then she's going to, of course, go look for a rabbit burrow and then get them to get running and then go chase it and be gone. So at first, I'm keeping her on leash for as long as absolute possible. to show her, and so that she can see me as being that positive. If you're nervous, come to me. If you're worried about that, come to me. You're overexcited, come to me. Every time, come to me. Anything going outside of you, come to me. There's nothing that you need to worry about with fearing anything or being excited about anything that I'm not going to help you out with. Because a lot of times, unfortunately, what happens when the dog gets excited? You yank that dog, you pull that dog, you do something to that dog, you shove a treat in that dog's face, you do something. Now the dog is looking at you like, well, when I'm excited, I don't want to come to you because you're doing weird stuff to me. So then you're already going to start to get this hostile stuff going on. And then when the dog is scared of something, you yank the leash and you pull the dog back, you get the dog to stay with you. Then the dog's like, again, like I can't come to you. Like if I come to you, something bad's going to happen to me. That's where the negative comes in. And that's where, unfortunately, most all obedience starts to bring you. It starts to make your dog look at you like, I can't confide in you. I can't come to you. I can't be safe with you. I got to get the heck away from you. Hey, girl. You had a good time exploring? You good. This is the thing, just me working with her, keeping her on leash, showing her what I want, She goes, she looks, and then she just comes on back. She just does it every single time. And today it's much, I don't want to use the word it's faster, but she gets a chance to be able to really explore the way that she wants to. Because this here isn't, to most people, unfortunately, y'all look at this is dangerous, I guess I can say. But it's not dangerous to the dog. The dog is being the dog. But again, I'm not out here day one, just go and be. Just go do what you do. Because right now, if she saw something, so for instance, even if she saw a snake out there, the first instinct in her, she gonna run to me. I've seen her do this. This is what she does every time that she gets nervous about something. If she's running, and because the deer actually get her scared, because I think she's actually scared of the deer. I think most dogs are scared of deer. That's why they chase them. They're not chasing them because they're like, like a rabbit or something, but they're chasing them and they get nervous. So when a deer is making a noise, she instantly like comes to me today at this moment. And then she's like, okay, what do you want to do now? She doesn't just take off at it. Every single situation that happens like that, she's like, I'm scared, let me go to you. I'm nervous, or I'm excited, let me go to you. And that's what we want our dogs to be able to get into. And when they do that, they can go, and then anything that happens, they're gonna come right back to you. Anytime they see a person, they're gonna come right back to you. Anytime they see another dog, they're gonna come right back to you. They're gonna come right back to you every single time because they know you are going to be that guide, that leader that's gonna show them like what to do next. Everything from excitement, especially excitement. This is the biggest thing that I noticed with a lot of y'all with y'all dogs. If your dog is excited, don't want to be nowhere near you. Because what do you do with that dog when it's excited? Settle down, sit down, calm down, shut up. Just sit there. The dog's like, I don't want to be nowhere near that. I don't want to go anywhere close to you when you're acting like that with me. That's where you're going to just get your dog to just wants to keep pushing and pushing and pushing and just running away from you. Doesn't want to be nowhere near you. Something that I would really want a lot of people to think about. Because a lot of this obedience, it can look cute and it can seem like it's needed, because unfortunately, like that's what's being force fed to everybody. Your dog needs obedience. Go to any puppy class. Your dog needs obedience. Go to anywhere, anything. Your dog needs obedience. And it's like most people are setting yourself up for just absolute failure. Because this is the thing that I'm going to say. When you're looking to do what you're planning on doing with your dog, is the person that you're listening to doing and has what it is that you're actually looking for. Not no 1 minute clip. But I'm talking so today I'll be out here for about an hour and a half, 2 hours, because I'm doing this talk right now. But I'm out here for a couple hours. My dogs will be just like this for the entire time. I don't turn the camera on, because I used to lie. I used to deceive. I used to manipulate. In all my first videos, and which is crazy, is all my first videos when I really started talking about dogs, I was getting 10, 20 times the views than I get now. That I'm just straight up being honest. Being honest, I'm telling you, just doesn't get you anywhere in life, unfortunately. It'll give you a clear conscience, but as far as getting others and people to listen and watch and pay attention to you, it don't do no good for you. But I used to lie with all my early videos when you would see my Border Collie, my Johnny, and whatever my dogs are in a downstay in my videos. I was lying because they're not like that all the time. During the day, especially at those times when I was making those videos, those dogs would be moving my animals around. Like my Johnny, he's just fixated on chicken the same way all the rest of my dogs are. He's just out there chasing and moving and doing and cruising. So I'll turn the video on and make it seem like, oh, look how good his dogs look. It was all just a lie. It was all manipulation. And that's all that I see typically from most people in most of their videos. That's not a real life. A real life is, what are you doing? Because my real life that I want to say to you I want to be able to be with my dog, and I don't want to have to say a single word. I don't want to have some specific regiment, some specific thing that I need for my dog to just be able to I don't know why I like using these terms, but dance around the world with me. I don't want nothing. I want a leash and a collar, and some of y'all use the harness, but if I'm going to be around a lot of people and a lot of dogs, I just want a leash and a collar. That's it. And I want to be able to go. I don't care. I don't need to like motivate the dog and get it ready to go. I don't want to have to load up anything. I don't want to have to charge up anything. I don't want to have to use anything specific. I just want to be able to go and do whatever I want, wherever I want, whenever I want, and have no worries at all. My dog can meet other dogs, because it's just a big thing. When there's people, your dogs, they just like, oh, can our dogs meet? I'm just like, I don't care. If my dog wants to meet your dog, let the dog meet your dog. Oh, I want to pet your dog. If my dog wants you to pet him, go ahead and pet him. I just to go anywhere and being able to do that. There's something about that I'm going to say, the more higher and upper level obedience that you get on your dog, the more you're not going to have that. The more I see, that's the thing that I see pretty much in everyone, almost everyone across the board. Get away from my dog. Don't look at my dog. Don't touch my dog. Don't let your dog meet my dog. It forces this. This is why the dog, it gets worse, in my opinion, because the dog doesn't want to be around you anymore. And when the dog wants to go meet another dog, and you're saying no to it to stay with you, your dog is looking at you like, wait, give me a second. I don't want to be near you. Turn your back and I'm gone. I don't want to be close to you. That's what I just constantly see over and over and over again. Thank you. You getting cold out? I'm getting cold too. That's why we had to run out here, because I would have been sitting here frozen. It's like 40 degrees, like 35, 38 right now. It's cold again out here. It's just crazy. It's crazy. Our weather here is just, what do you call it? I can't call it bipolar. I guess I could, because it's 1 week it's like 40 degrees, and the next week it's 90 degrees, and it just keeps swinging back and forth so extreme. And it's hard, because I can say it's 40 and I'm sitting out here, we're out here freezing, because this girl, that's why she needs to keep moving for one, because we'll get to freezing out here. And someone, a lot of y'all are living, it's like literally 8 degrees where you're at right now. But I'm telling you, when it was just 90 and sunny and hot, and then it goes to 40 or 30s and windy and cloudy in like 3 days, it's hard. It's hard. It feels like you're frozen, like my hands are like frozen. It just gets frozen. It's a very interesting experience. This place is is very strange. If it was just like this all the time, it's fine. But I guess right now in reality, it feels like more than likely being somewhere in comparison is like 0 degrees right now, because of how hot it recently just was. All right, we'll get going. I got to get her to stay outside a little bit more often, because she's too sheltered. But something I just want a lot of folks to really think about when you're looking at your dog. Does your dog actually want to be there? Because it's the biggest thing. Does it want to be there with you, for you, just for you, not for pets, not for the affection, not for hugging, not for treats, not for toys, not for nothing, but just you? Does your dog want to be there with you? You. My dog's cold, and where do you think she's doing? She's looking for me, for the assistance on, I know you know how to be able to help me out with this. We're about to go get running back again, and she's going to look at me and say thank you. As opposed to she's going to go figure it out on her own. Every little thing that goes on with these dogs, they're looking for me. Not because of anything that I've got on me, but just because of what I can say is what I do. What I do. What I do when you're scared, I'm calm for you. I'm here for you. When you're excited, I'm calm for you. I'm here for you. When anything going on, I'm calm for you. I'm here for you. You hungry? I got you. You thirsty? I got you. You cold? I got you. You hot? I'm going to take care of you. But the thing that I see that happens is the obedience forces your dog to not want to come to you. It forces your dog to look at you like an enemy. And it doesn't want to come to you when it's in any state of being, because every state of being, obedience basically says it's a forced calm. You're excited, force you to stay calm. You're scared, it forced you to stay calm. So your dog is like, all they're going to do is force me to do something, as opposed to let's do something to get where we want to get. When my dogs are excessive and psycho, we're going to go, this video I think I'm going to talk about tomorrow, because I want to talk about this morning, but something else came to me right now for some reason. It is what it is. But work over play. I don't play with my dogs. I work with my dogs. I let them work. So my dogs are excited. We go to work. We don't, because this is the thing that many people get confused with, because unfortunately, everyone's work, like, I don't care if you got your own business or not right now, most of our work is like, it's a drag. I don't want to do this mess. Like, it's work. And you look at it like, I don't want this. But dogs were bred and I don't want to use the word created, but in reality, this dog was created. The German Shepherd was created. They were created from us through breeding to be able to get to, and that's all the dogs want, is work. They want to work. They don't understand, in my opinion, they don't understand play. They understand work. They have something in them that they do for work. So my Dalmatian that likes to do her work is she likes to chase, she likes to move, she likes to just chase and run and get it. She likes to get stuff out of here. This is what makes her good at chasing stuff on the path and gets her to run really hard. She wants to get stuff off the path out of the way. That's her work. So she can run and get stuff out of the way. And if she needs to, she'll nibble on it a little bit to get it out of the way if it doesn't get out of the way. It's the work that she wants to do. My Shepherd here, his work, I don't know why. He a little weird, but he's not at the same time. He is what I would say is a really good scout dog. He would be a phenomenal, like, dog to take to battle or to war, trying to find bombs and stuff on the road. All he wants to do is walk and sniff, and just say, hey, there's something here. Let's check that out. Hey, there's something there. Just check that out. Hey, there's something coming up ahead. Let's check that out. That's all that he wants to do. That's his work. It's his work. We're not playing. It's his work. When my Border Collie is like, he just moves animals. It is what it is. But a hard one I'll say is my Pyrenees. His work is is to lay, sleep in the sun and just hang out and make sure that nothing comes around. That's all he wants to do. That's it. It's to work. The dogs were bred and here for work, not to play and just lollygag. It's to work. And when you give them that work, they are amazing, absolutely amazing animals.